Next up, we get why Trump's fraud trial doesn't have a jury. Did you hear about this one?
I did hear about this one. I saw some pictures of his lawyer where they were just like, when you forget to check the box that says trial by jury.
Yep. So now before I actually have a thing that I want to play, but before I do, there might be a copyright problem. I don't know if you want to mute on your end because there is music in this that is for sure copyrighted, but like it's a very short clip and I sped it up and pitch shifted it so it's in the wrong key. So it should be fine.
So on my end, I actually delist my VODs from Twitch when I'm done so that they don't get DMCA hits. I should be okay.
So Twitch doesn't do that live?
Twitch will do it live, but the likelihood of them doing it live is way lower than them doing it when it's in your VODs. It's weird.
Okay. Because this I just thought this was hilarious, so let's hear that.
This featuring Donald Trump.
I love that judge.
It looks like we're watching a sitcom.
Yeah, no, that's
amazing.
Yeah, no, that's what the person did. He was like, he saw the camera angle and he was like, "That's hilarious. I'm gonna put like sitcom music and credits and stuff." And I love the way Justice Engeron like looks at the camera and like is like, what's it called? Preening for the camera? No, that's not.
Yeah,
sure. Anyway,
said, wait, both sides didn't put trial by jury? Hold on. Let me see if it is called that.
Let's see if what's
now
called
I'm curious. Prim, preen, and pose. To make oneself sleek. Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah.
Why not?
All right, so we all know the basics. There's a $250 million lawsuit against Donald Trump, his sons, his adult sons, his chief associates, and his business empire. And it's going forward without a jury. There's a 35-page decision granting Letitia James's granting her a partial judgment in her favor, stemming from claims that her lawsuit, which alleged a decade of fraud, Naram to put rhino justice. I think that's the scales of justice. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a rhino something. So decades of frauds that exaggerated the former president's net worth by hundreds of millions of dollars. Did you see that Trump is off the Fortune 500 or the Fortune top 400 wealthiest people in America list?
I actually did not see that.
Yes, he's no longer on the list. And I imagine knowing him and how narcissistic he is, he probably is bothered more by that than all his legal troubles.
He'd rather die with his titles intact.
Yeah. Because like he committed a bunch of fraud in order to get on that list to begin with and to maintain that list and to try and move his way up that list. So the fact that he's no longer on it, and it's Truth Social's fault.
Oh?
Yeah, because because of the massive failure that Truth Social is, it took like $600 billion of value out of its parent company.
Oh.
And that kicked him off the list. Poor widow baby.
I want to feel bad about that. I can't.
Why would you want to feel bad about that?
Because I'm still a human being and so is he.
Oh no, he only has $1 billion instead of 3. The fuck are you on about, man?
It's just one of those, like, when you do something that's very, very small that fucks things up.
Yeah,
the Truth Social thing was a giant bitch fit from him.
But if
I got kicked off Twitter, I'll make my own Twitter with blackjack and hookers.
But if I do something small that fucks things up, that can potentially mean that I don't have food for my family.
That's fair.
Trump did a big fuck up, and he still has plenty of food for his family.
What he needs most of is soup for his family, though. So, oh no, he might go bankrupt again.
Yeah, really? So a judge determined that a trial is not necessary to determine that Mr. Trump's financial statements were fraudulent, so it is a matter of public record. He is a fraud. And I think, I might be wrong on this one, I ain't a law-talking guy, but I think because this is a civil suit, there's no appeals here. It's like, because it's not criminal. Isn't that what happened to Alex Jones? Like,
I think so, yeah.
He can't appeal the judgment that was based on what was it? He couldn't appeal the damages.
He did file for them. He tried to file for them at the very least, but
yeah, he tried a bunch of legal shenanigans, but you can't appeal. And so, like, the first thing I thought when I saw that, like, oh, his lawyer forgot to check a box is like, oh, well, that's an easy appeal for ineffective assistance of counsel. Like, wait a minute.
But he can't
no,
appeal
it's
if
not.
it's a civil
It's
case.
not appealable. I think. I might be wrong on that one. I haven't seen any news outlets cover that one way or the other.
Civil cases, parties may appeal to higher courts still. In criminal cases, only the defendant has a right to appeal in most states, but in a civil case, any party can appeal. So you're that's the difference.
Okay. That is confusing to me then. Because so then why couldn't Alex appeal? Because I know there was something with him where he's not able to appeal.
I can look at that real quick, because in November was when he was ruled that he had to pay. Because you're talking about the Sandy Hook stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Appeal. Lawyers told Reuters that the ruling went against decades of precedent. They will try to appeal it. I think they just tried and failed. I'm not seeing anything past November right now on that particular case. Okay, no, he appealed. There was another appeal in June where he appealed the 1.4 billion defamation case. But I'm not seeing anything on how that actually ended up going over. So
Okay.
I have a giant question mark there.
Okay. All right, we will default judgment or something. He lost by default because he refused to comply with discovery.
Oh, okay. That's why.
That might have been it.
So we were looking at the wrong red herring.
Maybe. Whatever. We're talking about Alex Jones when we're supposed to be talking about Trump.
They're both
Some
both fraudsters.
Some fat fraud. Yeah, so Mr. Trump and his co-defendants could have avoided an outcome determined by Judge Engeron if their attorneys simply requested a jury. The judge explained during the first day of trial on 2nd of October that the case had no jury because neither side had asked for one. In July, a form filled out by Letitia James' office included a box with two options, trial by jury demanded or trial without jury. The filing included a checkmark in trial without jury. Attorneys for Mr. Trump did not fill out any such form, nor did they file a response. So it's not necessarily that she forgot to check a box. It's that there was a form that she could have filled out as part of this process, but didn't. And when it was filed by Letitia James, like when you get the court filing or whatever, your lawyers get a chance to like respond to that. And that would have been the appropriate time to respond and say, yeah, no, we actually do want a trial by jury. And they didn't do that.
Gotcha. So neither side wanted there to be a jury here.
Yeah. Yeah. So
interesting.
But most media is presenting this as Trump's lawyer forgot to check a box. It's not that she forgot to check a box. It's that they didn't issue a response to a form that was filed from Letitia James's office, which is not necessarily better, but it's less overtly silly.
Fair.
You also have to keep in mind that Trump is at the bottom of the barrel for lawyers right now because like nobody will work for him anymore. All the good lawyers are demanding payment in advance because he has a history of not paying his lawyers. And so that leaves him, if he doesn't want to pay in advance, that leaves him with the bad lawyers.
He gets to do the Eggman thing from Sonic Heroes. When I successfully take over the world, I will pay you. Okay, buddy.
Yeah, and during the first day of trial, Trump's attorney, Alina Habba, claimed that her client did want a jury. It's like, well, then you should have
You should have
submitted
checked the box then.
You should have submitted the paperwork. So Mr. Engeron, who spoke slowly and deliberately as he outlined what will be the course of the trial, which is expected to last more than 2 months, has pledged to preside fairly over the case. And I love this last line. He says, "I promise to do my best. Despite my lame attempts at humor, I take my job very seriously, and I know the council and parties do likewise." It's like, I love this judge. Like the way he's posing for the camera, and the way he has this self-deprecating, like, yeah, I have lame jokes.
But at least he recognizes he has the lame jokes, unlike Trump that just wants everybody to laugh with him no matter what he says.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's why his crowd sizes are getting smaller, because like even the most hardcore of Trump people have got to, at this point, like going to the rallies, like he's just saying the same things over and over again. It's
yeah.
Like, oh, he's talking about dishwashers not washing your dishes properly again. I haven't heard that before.
There's only so many years of that you can take before you're like, well, it's like you don't go to every single comedy night that the same stand-up comedian is doing because you know he's going to use the same jokes over and over again. He has to.
Yeah.
In before Trump can't actually pay somebody to write any of his material anymore, so he's forced to recycle it. He can't afford to pay somebody to write his scripts.
Yeah, Fennec says, like, why the hell would I want to work for someone who is the world's worst client and won't pay me? LOL,
yeah.
No.
Basically, like if you've got a history of not paying, that's already a big enough red flag. But if you've got a history of not paying and also you're Donald Trump, the amount of sympathy you can possibly get there is nil.
Less than lucid, said Boomer Dad Judge.
Just that he's the good guy in the scenario. No matter what he says or does, you can't get mad at him.
Yeah.
This is the type of judge you would expect on an episode of Home Improvement.
Yeah. I remember Home Improvement.
Hey, I just quickly want to give a thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who keep this show running. YouTube and Twitch are a pretty bumpy ride at the best of times, and the stability a Patreon provides me is worth more than I can say here. I'd also like to thank each and every one of my $20 and up patrons here, and they would be Red Joker, Britzkrieg, Cameron, Dren, Jemshin, Smiling DM, Poundini, Mabbity Babbity, Naomi, Isaac, Jordan, Ravi, Giuni, Kiratorian, Prisma, all of you. I'm not saying that part. And Starlight. And finally, thank you to everyone else that helps keep this channel alive. While you're here, why not check out another video? And thank you for watching.